Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Just today a new video became viral in Kashmir. In a video, someone who is speaking against Shias, against Iran, against Imam Khomeini, with a bunch of accusations and allegations against all those who are following the Shia school of thought. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in Quran, specifically in Surah Tawbah, verse number 28, clearly mentions that those who are mushrik, who are not Muslims, are impure and they are not allowed to go into the Masjid al-Haram. If you are believing and thinking that Shia Muslims and Shias are not real Muslims and they are not Muslims, so they should not be allowed to go in Masjid al-Haram. But you know, during the Hajj time, some hundreds of thousands of Shias from across the globe, Iran officially, Iraq, Azerbaijan, Shias of subcontinent, India, Pakistan, from Kashmir, our own Kashmir, they are all getting permission officially allowed by Saudis to go to Hajj and to perform Hajj. If you are thinking that Shias are not Muslims, so you may ask the question from Saudis, how they are allowing non-Muslims and mushrikeens to go in to Masjid al-Haram. And if Shias are Muslims and Saudis have no other way to let Muslims to come to Masjid al-Haram and do and perform Hajj, so who you are to speak against Shias and to call them they are not Muslims? I don't know whom you follow, but even Saudi Arabia cannot say that Shias are not Muslims. And all their ulamas and all their scholars sitting there in Mecca and Medina, they know that and they are aware and they are facing every Hajj, during every Hajj time with the Shia pilgrims who are going to Hajj and they are participating in Hajj. Short and brief, I mean, this is really nonsense. I don't want to go into this discussion. It's really crystal clear that we believe that all these sects are a part of Islam. And of course, Shias have their own proofs and principles for what they believe, and they should be discussed among the scholars. That's not the point to discuss it here. But related to the second part of the story, where this guy is trying to attack to Iran, the political part, and is coming with a series and set of allegations. The first one that he is mentioning is related to a place, a grave that he's saying that this grave is related to Abu Lu'lu, the one who assassinated the second caliph and escaped, and then he came to Iran, and he has a tomb and shrine in Iran, and people are going there. Most of the historians say the person who assassinated the second caliph, most of the historians believe that this person was either assassinated or he committed suicide in the same city of Medina. And he had not the chance to escape from Medina and came all this distance to Iran and be buried in Iran. This is the first part of the story. Yes, in a small city close to Qom, close to the religious center of Iran, called the city of Kashan, there is a building, there is a structure that goes back, the history of this structure goes back to the 6th and 7th century. It was a part of the Iranian heritage, the structure there. Later on, some people came and said that this is a place where the killer, where the person named as Abu Lu'lu in history has been buried there, and this is the one who assassinated second caliph. This structure, this building was already there. No one was knowing who is buried inside this building. Then some people started to raise that this is the place where Abu Lu'lu, the one who killed and assassinated the second caliph, is buried there. And when Iranian officials got to know that this place is being misused by some hardliners, they officially ordered to close that building and that tomb, that shrine, whatever you want to call that. So maybe at least 10 years back, this place has been shut and had been closed, and officially no one has allowed to go in because this was being misused by some hardliners. And clear fatwas of Imam Khomeini about the respect that we should keep towards the Ummahat al-Mu'minin, the respect that all Shia Muslims should keep towards the companions of the Holy Prophet of Islam. Second issue, he started to say that, do you know that Iran is a country where the Iranian Qanun, Iranian law, Iranian constitution says that the president of Iran should be an Ithna Ashari, should be an Ayatollah Shia. I don't know what do you know about the Iranian political system. It is a system, unique political system based on democracy and Islam. And it is unique. No other country involved have this particular system of ruling. Yes, Iran is a Shia majority country. At least 90% of Iranians are the followers of the Ayatollah Shias. They are not Zaydis, they are not Ismailis, they are not Bohras, they are not Sunnis, they are Shias. Naturally speaking, based on the democratic system, the representative of these people should be someone from their own sect. But this does not mean that the non-Shia Muslims who are living in Iran should not be considered, which has been particularly and clearly mentioned in Iranian constitution. Different articles of the Iranian constitution do respect all the Islamic school of thoughts who are living in Iran, and Iranian constitution is actually accepting them as Muslims. Basically speaking, Sunnis of Iran are not being considered as minorities. Minorities are being considered non-Muslims. Sunnis are Muslims as Shias. So you say about Iran like that, and you keep your tongue about the countries like Qatar, like Emirat, like Bahrain, like Saudi Arabia, like Jordan. In all these countries, the ruler is not only belonging to a sect, but also belonging to a particular family. A particular family. No one else from outside from that family can rule. And you keep your tongue on that, and you are coming to criticize Iran because Iran is a Shia majority country, and naturally speaking, the one who is the president of Iran will be a Shia. It's very clear. Then this guy is talking about Iran-US relations, and interestingly and shockingly, he is telling that, oh, this Iran-US animosity is just something on screen. It's not real. It's fake. Under the table, they have ties. I'm really shocked. I don't know how to. Sometimes some issues are really clear, but let's talk about that also. There is an economic war going on and political war going on between Iran and US from the very beginning of the Iranian Revolution. No doubt about that. No other country has faced much more severe and strict sanctions like Iran on behalf of the Americans, and this crystal clear. I don't want to go into that, but let me go back to the history a little bit and tell you some parts on some slides of the history. 1979, November 1979, just months after the revolution, after the Iranian Revolution, the Iranian students attack to the US Embassy. Attack to the US Embassy. This is taking place for the first time in the history, and no other country has faced that condition. That the Iranian revolutionary youth attacked to the US Embassy, which was a center for spying and a center that was a center for the plans and plots of America against whole the region. They are entering to the US Embassy, taking the members of the US Embassy in Iran as hostages for 444 days. 444 days, not a joke. 444 days Iranian students took the American citizens as hostages there. And American reaction in April 1980 starts to plan an operation against Iran to take and those hostages and release those hostages. The operation was known as the Operation Eagle Claw. Do Google Operation Eagle Claw and to know that what happened to Iran and how Americans, by all their forces, by all their special forces, Special Force of Delta was used at that specific operation, who came from the Persian Gulf by American warships. They entered Iran. They entered in the heart of Iran by their helicopters and by their planes, and they had the plan of attacking to Tehran, but all their plan of attack to Tehran was ruined because of a sandstorm that took place in the heart of Iran. American copters entered Iran. They landed on Iranian land and on Iranian soil, but it was the wish and the will of God to destroy all their plans. And the sandstorm came, and the two of the helicopters were clashed together, and they were burned, and there was a blast over there, and American Marines were killed during the blast, and they were forced to escape. In April 1988, when Iran-Iraq war was going on, and it was at last ages of Iran-Iraq war, Iranians are being involved in a direct confrontation with Americans in Persian Gulf, an operation which was known as the Operation Praying Mantis. Praying Mantis was an operation that was led by Americans against Iranians, and there was a direct encounter between Iranian Navy force and American Marine force and also Air Force, during which some American helicopters were demolished by Iranians, different American ships were attacked by Iranians, and also Iranian ships were attacked by Americans. Several Iranians got martyred during that operation in 1988. Several Iranians were taken as hostages during that operation, and it was a direct clash between Iran and America, that you may not be aware about that. And different occasions after that, Iran for the first time is the only and the first country that dares to arrest American Marines. The most well-known incident was in 2016, where American Marines were arrested by Iranians, and Iranian media showed them openly when they were crying under the arms of the Iranian armed forces. They were being arrested by the Iranian forces. They were crying like babies. And the last point that I want to mention, that American flights and drones and aeroplanes are flying from over Iran and nothing is taking place. I think he has not heard about anything about RQ-170. In 2011, when RQ-170 and the most sophisticated American drone entered the Iranian territories, Iranians were not only able to, attack to that, but also they were able to take the control of this sophisticated drone by electronic warfare, to land it in an Iranian basement and take the control of RQ-170, and then re-engineered this sophisticated drone, and within few years Iranian mass-produced these drones and make use of those drones for its own purposes. So this was just one of the incidents that Iranians did and became well known. I think the guy may not be aware about that. Anyways, if America is not thinking about attacking to Iran, and if America is not attacking to Iran, and America is attacking to Afghanistan or attacking to Iraq, it's because Iran is powerful. Nothing beyond that. Thank you for following, watching, and listening to me.